There are certain days where you just need to maximize on the trending conditions. Trade with the VWAP, maybe trade multiple times to maximize gains. And that's exactly what we did today, trading across all the prop firm accounts that I have, making $2,100 across just 3 trades. I want to go over all the trades today and how we get the clean setups that we found on stream, as well as trades later on in the afternoon. Now, the first one, a little bit mismanaged, but I'll walk you through the process, a little bit of it. Again, if you're new here, welcome on in. But you can all get first month free access to Futures 2.0, my full strategy on AceFX TV. In that, that's also where we're streaming every day. I don't want to chase the first break of open range low. Well, there it is. Inducement pulls right back against you. We want to go for the second one, and that's what this setup is, right? So clearly it's a bearish open. We're below the overnight VWAP, so shorts are on the table, despite having been at all-time highs, right? Reading and reacting to what we're getting intraday. But sellers defend this New York VWAP nicely. Buyers tried to take it. They failed. Okay, great. Sellers are still showing their hand. Now we want to take the second break outside. Now it moves a little bit sideways, and my patience was wearing thin, not moving with the momentum, the velocity, whatever you want to call it, that I wanted. But the market doesn't care what I want or what you want. So that's not really a reason to get out of the trade, just because it's not moving at the speed that you're liking. So I just get out of it knowing this still looks good, but let me get out of this because this just isn't playing out the way I thought, but it doesn't mean I should be out of it, right? So a little bit mismanaged there. Thankfully not a loss, but could have definitely been a clean winner. Now, if we clean this up to get rid of the trade, just to clean things up, you should be waiting for new information to get in and out of a trade. So when we have these lower highs still, we're still making lower highs. And underneath New York VWAP, what makes me think this doesn't still want to go lower? That I shouldn't sit through my short some more? Nothing. It still looks very bearish, despite, yes, the reason I also didn't like it, the slowing here at low. It can't make a new low a day. It can't break out of the range. There's definitely some support down there, right? So that was also going through my mind. But I've said it before. I'll say it again for anyone that's new. When I'm in a short, for this example, I'm more focused on structure on top of me. As long as we're still falling on the top of us with these lower highs, we're good. Once we start making higher highs, that's no good, because now you're starting to turn maybe into bullish structure. Shorts aren't looking good. And inverse for the longs. As long as we're making higher lows underneath on any long idea I have, we're still looking good. So I miss out on that trade. It finally pops lower. Not going to just FOMO into that and chase it lower, hope it keeps on going. Recognize, yeah, I got out of it early. I could have been in a winner. Nothing you could do now. It's my mistake, but let's not let that turn into a really bad mistake of chasing something and taking a loss, right? So we let it make a new low a day. Pulled back to the same VWAP we shorted it off of earlier. Get a nice retest after a new low. Let me sell this thing. Sellers are clearly in control. This is a way better price than just chasing it down here. I can get it after a pullback with now a stop loss that makes a whole lot of sense. And when you look at this one, stop loss should never be at current structure, right? Of saying, oh, I'm going to short it here. It's not going to ever go above that lower high. Of course it could. Probably going to. It's probably going to sweep all those tight stop losses out and then move lower. So you always want to choose structure to the left. I did the same thing this morning on my first trade. That previous structure is a lot safer of a stop loss because we don't know how much or for how long it might want to hold this New York VWAP before moving lower. You can't predict that it's just going to be a perfect 2 candles and just flush lower. So give yourself some space. Thankfully, I do. It falls lower and we get a nice win, and we get the finally a win on the day because this one was break even. Now, I didn't get it to the bottom. You could even throw in a low of day VWAP. This is taught in Futures 2.0 as well. I take the bounce play. So let's go over there real quick. The bounce play in Futures 2.0 versus the break play. You can see chapter like 8 through 10 here. I'm taking the bounce off of New York VWAP. The break would be the breaking of that lower day VWAP saying sellers are back in. But I want that really good price around that New York. So I'm getting in not early, just before it's giving me confirmation that sellers are 100% ready to step back in. It makes not a new low, but it does push lower. Pulls back to New York VWAP again and even breaks above it. But are buyers in, right? I know it's 10, 15 minutes. It's really just moving sideways. But are buyers actually in, and we're just going to shoot to the moon now on a day that had been so bearish? We're still well below New York VWAP for, let's just make it up. What time is this? 12 o'clock. So for 3.5 hours, we've been below New York. And 10 minutes, we've been above. I'm going to say buyers are in for the day. No, until we really get rips higher and buyers making that bullish structure, I'm still leaning short. So I put on another short at the same VWAP, same level, same price I was even short at back here. Same price I ended up shorting it there and winning. Let's sell it again. That price seems to be well received by the sellers. So let's get this next push like we did back here. And I got a nice little scalp to add on to the green that we already had. All in the same direction, all on the right side of VWAP, because you could also look, this is on a 1-minute chart. If you go to the 15-minute here on the left, you'll see where I'm taking that trade. All that pullback is, it's just a retest to this overnight here in black. Clearly, still selling it, still a seller. And you can see the push down at the open came from that overnight. So we get that strong push. It's just a pullback, another strong push. Surprise, surprise. It doesn't just move in a straight line. It often wants to return back to that overnight VWAP, which is why we like to trade off of it. So those are the 3 trades there. Now let's go to this chart above. I've kind of just explained it there. But let's just go to my drawings over here. And you'll see, where's the price that pays? To get involved in any point of the day. The New York VWAP, right? Rather than chasing shorts, can you make money over here on that short, maybe selling it over here, selling it down there? Of course. There's always going to be plenty of opportunities to sell it down there and make money, sell it here, maybe make a little bit of money. But the common theme, where is it really respecting you're getting the strongest bounces from? And it's this New York VWAP constantly throughout the day. That's the line in the sand saying sellers are they're holding in. If they give this up, no longer looking bearish. So that's kind of the turning point, that when you see it rejected and held again on a day that had been so bearish, it should be an easy short to believe and want to see it follow through. So definitely have this on your chart that's anchored from the 9:30 New York Open on the regular trading hours. And then you look at ES today, same thing. This was all on NQ. ES, same thing, all underneath New York. Rather than just chasing lower lows, right? That's a strong move down. How about we just wait for a pullback and trade the lower high before the next lower low, right? Genius, right? Get a better price on these pullbacks rather than chasing at the lows and potentially getting short right when a pullback comes in, right? The worst thing to do is sell it at the lows. It pulls back, stops you out, and still moves lower, right? But if I'm getting it on the pullback, probably doesn't want to pull back more. I'm probably getting it at the end of the pullback. It's going to be all profit from there. And another thing to look at on this NQ one, when we look at it, on the reasons of not really loving the shorts or loving the longs later on in the day, even though it does reverse back up, looking at it over here saying, oh, buyers are potentially in. No, again, I've given you some reason on the 15-minute being bearish below the overnight and just all the sentiment we've had today. But let's throw in the initial balance. These black lines are the opening range, the first 15 minutes of the day. Let's switch that out for the initial balance, the first hour of the day. So you can see we broke it pretty early on to the downside here. But if you look on Thursdays by size, whatever you want, it's not very likely that we break both ends of this initial balance. So I'm not really going to believe that, oh, buyers are in, we're going to move higher. Probably not, because it's been so bearish and we broke the bottom. So that kind of rules out the probability of us also breaking the top. So I don't expect longs to want to come in from here. It actually probably wants to move back down. For that, you can go over to edge fill, like I've said. Go to the initial balance report. We can filter it by size. I have it filtered to weekday today. And you can see on Thursdays, 3 out of the last 26 Thursdays in the last 6 months, only 12% of the time does it break the bottom and the top. And then when it breaks one side, 76% of the time, it just single breaks, right? So why would I come in with all this bearish sentiment and expect this is actually a sign of buyers stepping in to move higher? Statistically, probably not. Structurally, probably not. All of the above, probably not, right? So just stick on the right side of VWAP, stick to the storyline of the day, I like to say. Who's been in control? What's more likely to happen? We just continue back lower with all this selling power, or we move higher for back to all-time highs? And if it does, it does. But that would be improbable, in my opinion. So hopefully you guys made money today. It was definitely a great day to try to maximize it. Here you can see my entry and my exit. Again, I didn't get the full move. I never will. I don't care. And this is the second one in NQ, scalping a real quick down to the bottom. I got to mark up that break-even one. But yeah, like I said, taking them on stream this morning. A bunch of you guys made money on it. So make sure you check out the course and this VWAP strategy so that when you tune into the streams for free, you understand what we're trading, the lingo, the terminology, all that good stuff. And use the live chat. Ask questions, put your markups in of the trades you're taking to get feedback on it in real time. And let's just keep making money together. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you click the links down below. All the top 1 accounts today were traded on my copier on Project X. So you got to love when you have a nice clean trending day and you're trading all of your accounts towards payout. So make sure you check that out down below as well. They're still running the best deal with code Evan. So trade safe. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.